technologically illiterate people had to become literate because they were motivated by money. So you're motivated by a few dollars, but you're not motivated by a permanent paradise? That's ridiculous.
And you don't have that hunger anymore, and then obviously things start to fall apart.
I had the choice to make. Do you go to trial and end up getting 10 years and end up being a sex offender on a crime you didn't commit?
That was the first time, like, somebody told me something that, like, I couldn't see or touch, and I believed it.
Islam teaches you prevention and not cure. Prevention over the cure.
I didn't know that. I thought you met Sheikh after you came from the after you came home or whatever. You met him before.
Yeah, because I've done multiple bids. So my first bid is where I accepted Islam, and after 5 years,
Yes.
and then I ended up doing two bids after that.
Yep.
So I knew the Sheikh way back, and it's crazy because, one time when I was running around, with the brothers in Philly, and certain brothers from New York, we would go to Philly and go to classes. I was actually warning against Sheikh Mufti. Yeah, it's weird. So I was like deep in, like, as you see me now in calisthenics.
Yeah.
Got accepted to Medina University, was on parole, couldn't go. So I was really going down the path of being a tulab al-ilm. So I was like knee deep when it came to the affairs of Islam. And I can't say I'm not now. It's the same thing. But as you see me in calisthenics,
Right.
I was pushing that agenda to go to Saudi, stay there, and learn. Alhamdulillah.
Oh, mashallah, tabarakallah. You said something. You said that you was amongst the brothers who used to warn against Mufti.
Yeah.
So that's the like the extreme Salafi movement.
Yeah, as you can say, because unfortunately people might not want to accept it, but the Dawah as-Salafiyya has definitely split up into sects amongst themselves. When we start talking about Sheikh Rabi' ibn Hadi al-Madkhali, and then Sheikh Ibn Hadi, Muhammad ibn Hadi, and then Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri, all the way from these people are upon the Quran and the Sunnah with understanding of the Salaf. So who's to say who's wrong in this specific affair? So you have this group going with this group, they saying I'm Salafi, then this group is going with this group, they saying that they are Salafi. So how you gonna sit here and say the Dawah has not broken? It has broken into sects,
Absolutely.
and that's just the bottom line.
It's like, I'm not gonna slam you because you follow this Sheikh, or you don't adhere to this view I follow. So that cause, I could see the harm it caused within the Muslim community.
Oh,
Even non-Muslims looking in outside, like, man, why they can't get together?
It's detrimental without a doubt.
Definitely. Wow, that's very interesting to know. You was actually pursuing the seek knowledge.
I got accepted to Medina University.
Mashallah, tabarakallah.
And never forget it. And I couldn't go because I was on parole.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, subhanAllah, back in prison.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, may Allah have mercy.
Ameen. Okay.
Ameen.
So how did you end up in prison, if you don't mind talking about that? Let's take us back to before you was a Muslim.
Okay, tell you.
Yes.
Very, I was gangbanging, obviously. BMW, Brooklyn Most Wanted. And, I had a lot of Crips amongst me at the time, because that was just like my neighborhood. The Crips and the Bloods was out, but I chose, I wanted to be a little different, turn BMW.
Okay.
And around when I was 18, this obviously wasn't my first bid, but this was my first serious prison stint, and which I got 6 years for. I gave the story on my YouTube, so I'm not gonna go into any real deep detail dealing with that situation. But I was in a shootout, and obviously I was an active shooter in that shootout. And unfortunately, there was a person at the time that was about 23 years old. He had got shot in the head, and he nearly died. He was in a coma for about 29 months. It was about 5 to 6 shooters that day. I was the only one locked up. Alhamdulillah, I did my time. And, they was offering me about 15 years for the shooting. But in reality, the gun that hit him wasn't a gun that I had. So he got shot by the opposition on accident. And, I had to kind of like take the blame, no freaky. I had to take that charge, even though it wasn't my bullet that actually hit him. And after about 29 months, he pulled out of a coma, and they went from 15 to like 8.5 years, and I was fighting it. Alhamdulillah, my cousin ended up getting me a lawyer last minute. It went down to 7. Then they dropped it to 6. At that time, I already had about 3 years in on Rikers Island. I did about 38 months on Rikers Island, so that was 3 years and 2 months. Oh yeah, we was wild, and I done had two upper north side, like my house. So, you know, at the time, frail young boy, but you know, just wasn't afraid to do what I had to do, whether I had a weapon or I didn't. And from there, went up north, did 2 years, and then alhamdulillah I came home. But at the time, I accepted Islam on Rikers Island.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. So Allah protected you pretty much.
Oh man,
you could have been doing much more time. The person woke up, so the sentence went down. So pretty much, I wanted to know, because you mentioned this in one of your videos where you finally took your shahada. You've been going in and back and forth out of jail. Obviously, you lived out a street lifestyle. You was heavily influenced, but at the same time, you took your shahada. But when you first took your shahada, it was just like, let me just take my shahada so I won't look crazy.